Hello everybody, we're here today at the Royal Lytham Fitting Studio and we're going to be talking about the brand new Callaway Rogue irons. This year Callaway have released 4 new irons as part of their Rogue family. In previous years, with clubs such as the Epic, the Apex and the XR, they've only released 2 iron heads. These have been the standard one and the Pro. This year on top of that, they've also released the Rogue X and the Rogue W. The 4 iron heads have all got slightly different properties and they're going to suit slightly different golfers. The standard head is rather similar to what we've seen with the XR previously, but they've stepped it up a notch this year. They've got the 360 face technology, which enables them to have a really thin face, which gives you ultimate ball speed and ultimate distance. But this year they've taken it on another level. Previously there's been a few complaints that the noise hasn't been that good. This thin face, although you're getting fantastic results with distance, the thin face does create a little bit of a hardened noise, not one that we particularly want to hear. This year they've put this urethane layer in behind the club head, which means the noise is far better, much more pleasing to hear. On top of that, they've also released the Rogue Pro iron. This year it's a lot more different to the standard head. If you look at the Epic perhaps or the XR before that, the standard head was quite similar to the Pro, whereas this year they've given it a brand new colour scheme. They've made that top line really thin and clean, and their lofts are a little bit more towards the traditional ones that we got used to seeing previously. Really interesting to see how these goes. They really do look very good. On top of that, you've got the Rogue X. This is their longest iron that Callaway have ever produced. They're not embarrassed about this. They've come out and said these irons are strong in loft, but they've been able to tailor this by having a wider sole than usual. This then brings the centre of gravity back in the club head and gives you a much more traditional launch. So although these are going to go an awful long way, you will get a consistent flight. So it'll be interesting to see quite how that works and if the performance is there. On top of that, we've got the Rogue W. Won't be hitting that today. This is a club which is suited for someone who's got a slightly slower swing speed. The lofts on these are quite lofted actually, but the technology in the club head enables you to get really good distance. So for someone who's struggling for a nice ball flight, these are going to be great irons for you to come and try out. Let's hit some shots of them, let's get some data, and then we can compare these 3 irons against each other and talk about what their sort of benefits are to each golfer. So I've just hit some shots with all 3 of these brand new Callaway Rogue irons. This screen behind me is all the data that I've collected. Might look like a big screen of numbers, but I'll try and help you go through them as easily as possible and keep them simple. I started off with the standard Rogue head. Really nice actually. Down by the ball it looked fantastic. Looked really easy to hit, inspired a lot of confidence, and on top of that, when you struck it, the noise isn't what we've heard in the last couple of years from Callaway irons. Sounded great, back to really what we want to hear out of an iron. If you look at that carry distance, second in from the right hand side, that's the figure that I feel is most important. If you're looking at trying to fly over a bunker or another obstacle, you need to know how far it's going in the air. So to take that figure on board, as I say, it is important. It's the main one I look at when trying to get over an obstacle. For me, 178 is very good. I carry my 7-iron around 170 yards, so immediately I've got a gain there. But also for me, it stands out a little bit. If you look at the backspin figures there, just left of centre, you can see that it's spinning at just under 6,000 revs per minute, which for a 7-iron is very good. Often out these distance irons, you see they go a long way, but your stopping power on the greens is massively reduced. Whereas with these, that's still a really good spin level. So you're not going to have that compromise. If we move down into the Rogue Pro, I thought these were quite a surprising iron actually. They looked fantastic down to the ball as we expected, really nice looking head, felt great off the face, but they actually went a little bit further than the standard Rogue irons. I didn't quite catch the first two with the standard head, which might have skewed the averages slightly, but still, these went an awful long way for a pro head, which is good. If you look at the spin rates, slightly down on the standard head, but this has been compensated by the peak height. If you look to the one left of the carry distances, that's the total height it gets in flight. Obviously, the higher it goes, the softer it lands. So that's going to make up on that stopping power front. But for me, the standout performer here was the Rogue X. We knew it was going to go a long way from those stronger than standard lofts, but wow! I mean, as I say, 170 for my 7-iron. That's going 197 yards. That's super long. I've gained nearly 30 yards with that club. But although I have gained that distance, the trade-off is that spin rate. You can see it's dropped down below 5,000 revs per minute. But if you're someone who's looking for ultimate distance, then these irons are going to be fantastic. Callaway have, as I said, changed the centre of gravity on that club slightly, pushed it behind centre, which if you look at the peak height, is 41 yards. That's pretty similar to the Rogue Pro iron, so that's going to help you get some grab on the green. So it's super long, but you also are going to get some stop out of it, and they felt nice to hit as well. It wasn't like hitting a rocket launch or anything like that. They did feel like a solid iron. So we've got 3 different irons here, all performing really well. Which one suits you best? I wouldn't want to try and categorise each golf club into a certain type of golfer. Why don't you come down, hit some shots to all of them and see which one you are getting the best results out of. We've got hundreds of shafts here for you to try. So I'm sure between that and these 3 different heads, we can really tailor something to suit your needs. Give us a call, give us an email, get booked in and come and have a go. Also, if you're liking these types of videos, give us a follow on all our social media channels. It's at RL Pro Shop. We'll be posting plenty more. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you here again soon.